and just to write out your story. Write out your story. God is still with you. You may not feel it, but you're not alone. You're hurting now, but your morning is coming. Lord have mercy, just hold on to Jesus and write out your story. Write out your story. God is still with you. You may not feel it, but you're not alone. You're hurting now, but your morning is coming. Lord have mercy, just hold on to Jesus and write out your story.
Oh, Jeff Ross, a real life, me I sing about it like that. No, yes. Yeah, them a go vex, them know me bless, them see the success. Them see the shirt, them see the pants, but me no done press. Them try out there, them try gun, but why go come next? Me a beg you, I'm a beg I them Father, make me see the haters a come more. Please guide me jag over, Father protect your soul. Can't stop me 'cause me heart too clean. Can't kill me 'cause me heart too clean. Because me heart too clean. Yeah, me heart too clean. Suppose that I take for you don't want to see another youth rise. Them want to take a cake every slice, and no one let nothing feel not nice. But my life I know yours to decide. Now dead for you can rejoice. No sweat and tears, no sacrifice. And I'm gonna lie on your side. You know me things, I watch them laugh. True mankind, them a take me soft. Even though them a pray for me blessings cut short. Me find them out, that's how me cut them off. But I tell them your business, them a take it good talk. And them a sheep in the day, but on a wolf in the dark. You see me get the start, and you know what me take off. Try answer me prayer, cause I this me a ask. Me a beg you, who am I beg I them Father? Make me see the haters a go. Please guide me jag over, Father protect your soul. Can't stop me 'cause me heart too clean. Can't kill me 'cause me heart too clean. Because me heart too clean. Yeah, me heart too clean. 'Cause me no know what me do to them. Them say them a me brother, but them a pretend. Them quick to crucify, live for me name. And me never talk when me do for them. Can't you me call me realize? Them born with red in the eyes. No, yeah. And me them a criticize. Me a tell you say many a times. Me give them a things, I watch them laugh. True mankind, them a take me side. Me know them a pray, for my don't fall. Me find them out, that's how me cut them off. But I tell them your business, them a take it good talk. And them a sheep in a deer, but on a wolf in the dark. See me get the start, and you know what me take off. Try answer me prayer, cause I give me a heart.
I love worship. Maybe I won't win a bigger war or meet some famous movie star. Maybe the world won't know me. I see my face on the cover of a magazine, but at the end of the day, I wanna make you smile. Jesus, at the end of the day, house on the hill. I'll drive one of them.
All right, Trinidad and Tobago, so I am back with you. It is, what time it is now? Let me give you the exact time. It's now 12:41. And, well, you know, I finish at 2 o'clock. So I want to play my last clip for the day. Yeah, I want to play my last clip for today to end this discussion that I would have had with you today on this situation that we are facing as a nation. It's just so sad, eh? It's really sad, you know. But I'm going to play this last clip. So before I take any more calls, I want to play this last clip today. And then I'm going to give you the opportunity to just call in and share all what you have to say and tell me all what you think. All right? There was a lady who called in and was asking me why all of this happening now and whatever. But before I even talk about that too, you know, there is this. So I want to play these clips and then I'm going to open up the phone lines, play some voice notes and open up the phone line. All right, so let me just play. I want to play over the one again with Gary Griffith and the Minister of National Security.
So this is it in a nutshell. Minister Hines contacted me yesterday and told me that he would like for me to remain on leave until further notice.
You know, I just want to stop these things there, but he said Mr. Hines contacted him yesterday. Then we hear Mr. Hines saying that he called Mr. Hines. So somebody lying. Somebody lying. And it's amazing how we're not analyzing properly. So Mr. Hines, so he is saying that Mr. Hines called him. Why would Mr. Hines call him? Let's listen to Gary Griffith again. Let me hear why Mr. Hines called him.
So this is it in a nutshell. Minister Hines contacted me yesterday and told me that he would like for me to remain on leave until further notice. Unfortunately, whoever advised the minister gave him wrong advice because the Minister of National Security does not have the authority to send any police officer on leave.
I'm stopping it again. We listened earlier on to not the Minister of National Security, but we listened earlier on to the Attorney General under the partnership government threatening Mr. James Filbert. Was it Mr. Filbert? Yes. Telling him that his contract might come to a premature end. All right? And we did see it happen. But again, I'm asking, why would Mr. Hines call Mr. Griffith?
So this is it in a nutshell. Minister Hines contacted me yesterday and told me that he would like for me to remain on leave until further notice. Unfortunately, whoever advised the minister gave him wrong advice because the Minister of National Security does not have the authority to send any police officer on leave based on the law and for obvious reasons that a politician can direct the police in such a way. This has to be done through the Police Service Commission. And the Police Service Commission, they're fully aware of their role and function, where you cannot send someone on leave unless, of course, there's a disciplinary matter or there's some investigation that is taking place by relevant law enforcement authorities.
Let's hear Mr. Hines.
Let me address very briefly the question you raised about some article in the Newsday today. And to make it clear that this government is not about any bacchanal and scandal and small talk. We are about providing the people of Trinidad and Tobago with good government, honest government, assuring them that their country is in safe and secure hands with the PNM. That's what we are about. With that behind me, let me say that the Commissioner of Police, Acting Commissioner of Police, Mr. Gary Griffith, wrote a letter to me suggesting that he returned to work approximately 1 week or sometime before he was due to return from a period of leave.
Why would if Mr. Griffith is saying that the Minister of National Security does not have anything to do with him coming back from on leave, why did you write him a letter? And it would be nice as if that letter become public. If Mr. Hines were to make that letter public, then what will Mr. Gary Griffith say?
That leave was applied for. He applied to me as Minister of National Security in the normal course of things. And the Police Service Commission was informed.
So he would have written to Mr. Hines for leave. He wrote to Mr. Hines for leave, as Mr. Hines was saying. It's a normal thing. But Mr. Griffith is saying that Mr. Hines can't give him leave or can't tell him he can't come back from leave. I'm confused.
The leave was approved.
Who approved the leave? Who approved the leave, Olia? Let me gain the thing now, man. Let me gain the thing. We just have an hour.
With that behind me, let me say that the Commissioner of Police, Acting Commissioner of Police, Mr. Gary Griffith, wrote a letter to me suggesting that he returned to work approximately 1 week or sometime before he was due to return from a period of leave. That leave was applied for. He applied to me as Minister of National Security in the normal course of things, and the Police Service Commission was informed.
So wait now. I'm confused. So it's not that they send him on leave. He asked for leave. I missed something there. They didn't send him on leave. He asked to go on leave. So I work in 919 and I asked to go on leave. Say, well, you know what? I'm tired of this, tired of traveling from north to south. I want a little rest. So can I get 2 weeks leave, please? Within the 2 weeks leave, I decide to write back my boss on there to come back before the 2 weeks ended, because I hear Bacchanal brewing in 919 and my name calling, and Sean Felix calling up my name, Bruce Wayne calling up my name, and I want to come back to deal with them. So I write the program director and I tell him I want to come back from leave before time. All right?
The leave was approved. He returned here approximately 1 week before it was due to expire and inquired of me the following day whether he should return to his desk.
So that's what I'm saying. So I know, right back, the program director and asking, can I come back before my leave expires? 1 week before? And the program director just says, no, come the day that you apply to come back for. I never tell you don't come back.
I told him I should revert because I needed to understand the implications of that for his approved leave. Before I can return to him...
Also, wait. So Mr. Hines is saying that when you asking him to come back a week before, he said, hey, I don't know about that. I need to inquire. Because I think somebody in the chat had asked, all Mr. Hines had to do was to say, allow me to find out and I will let you know. But he did do that. He did do that. He said, yeah, what? I'll go back, give me an opportunity. Let me find out and I will get back to you.
I became aware that he wrote similarly to the Police Service Commission, and the Police Service Commission responded to him, suggesting in the main that that is a matter for the Minister of National Security.
So, the Police Commission said to him, hey, In the main, that is for the Minister of National Security to respond to you about. That's what he's saying. That's what Mr. Hines is saying. Let me go on.
And it is on the basis of those 2 bits of correspondence, which having called the commissioner, he acknowledged dispatching to the Service Commission and acknowledged the reply that I was aware that he had received. It was on the basis of that that I told him that he should remain on leave up until the expiration of same on the 20th of September.
So he didn't tell him to stay on leave indefinitely. He told him until the 21st of September you could come back out, Bedrin.
Mr. Vice President, it so happened, not with any premeditation, that the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of National Security was present with me at the time, and my phone, as usually is the case, was on loudspeaker. So the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of National Security overheard everything in the conversation, and I want to report to Senator Mack and the country today in the spirit of truth and honesty that I told the Commissioner and repeated myself twice, making it pellucidly, abundantly, sufficiently clear for any child to understand. I am speaking about you staying at bay until the expiration of your leave. He acknowledged that and went off of the phone.
Right. That's all I wanted to hear. That's all I wanted to hear. Right. That's what I wanted to hear. Bam. Boom, boom, boom. Beautiful. That's all I wanted to hear. So when I come back, take call, well, play some voice notes, because I have some voice notes to play. And then when I come back, I'm going to take your call straight until 2 o'clock. I don't know. I don't know if I missed something. I don't know if you all heard something that, I don't know. You all tell me what you all heard when we come back from the break, right? Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Real interesting. I think I have some, actually, I think I could play some voice notes in the meanwhile. I'll play some voice notes. Wait, let's go from here. Play some voice notes.
Pastor Google, good morning. Good morning, Pastor Google. This is Miss Indian Walk talking here. Miss Indian Walk don't know why she spirit was saying, I don't want Gary Griffith. Right? I couldn't suggest nothing because there is so many things hanging over that place that he come from. You know? Long as you could be a part of those people, you'll be a part of the comments and the confusion. All right? And when you come from the PNM had no right to hire this man I can't say PNM, you know, because it's the police, then we have to do that. Right? I can't say PNM. But it must have a say from this side to agree for he to reach where he is. All right? My spirit never go for that man to be commissioner. Don't matter all the good work he doing, as they may say. But I still didn't see the good work yet. I wanted to see all the wrong, some of the wrongs that Kamala them do. They handle it. He didn't handle that. All right? He did not handle that, you know. I was saying my spirit not for this man. You see where this man go end up taking this party into confusion and bacchanal? All right.
Morning, Pastor Google. Pastor Google, I've said it long time before. Long time before. Gary Griffith is a show-off. Gary Griffith like make out. Gary Griffith just like to be seen. He like to be relevant. Right? They cannot say nothing about this man. This man has no right being in the position that he is as commissioner. I have said that many times. Dr. Rowley make a comment. Oh, Dr. Rowley this and Dr. Rowley that, and he do a Michael Jackson and he reverse. Total disrespect. The Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, the Prime Minister, you totally disrespect him. And then when called to make an apology, he read some stupidness on a piece of paper, right? Bram, now we're coming now. Dr. Hines now, Minister Hines now talking to you. You want to come out before time. The time is not yet for you to come out. The time is not yet for you to come out. All the man tell you is revert, hold your hand, and we'll get back to you. You don't like that at all. And when Mr. Hines talking now, you're calling Mr. Hines do a back step or a reverse step or something. Total. This man have no respect. He believes he's above the law. He believes that he is above the law, right? And then to say now that people now trying to make you look bad and people trying to take down your character, and then to top it off now, you beat them before, meaning the people and them who were vying to be commissioner when you were earlier on before, you beat them before and you will beat them again, and you will beat them much more now because it's like you perform. And this is a man who have an application inside. This is how he's talking. So people who vying for him say they have no chance of beating him. This is the man. This is the man who's vying to be commissioner now. This disrespectful man who believes he's above the law.
Wayne Delamore, Head Consultant and Director of Natural Health Solution, with over 15 years of experience in clinical nutrition and microscopy. We specialize in early detection and prevention. We incorporate evidence-based nutrition and science-driven analysis. Tune in to our educational program every Wednesday at 9:05 to 9:55 a.m. right here on the street, 91.9 FM. For appointments, call 222-2189 or 304-5816. At Natural Health Solutions, we offer a natural solution to healthy living.
Hey guys, it's Aisha Wells here. Listen up. If you're considering selling or renting your house in Trinidad and Tobago, then call Keelan George with O'Neill's Real Estate Group. He's a good friend of mine and he's been in the business for over 6 years. First, selling real estate in Atlanta, Georgia, and now right here in Trinidad and Tobago. He has a strategic online marketing presence that actually attracts thousands of home buyers and renters. Plus, with his home selling advice and techniques, he's getting homes sold really fast. Keelan will actually guarantee you sell your home, or get this, you can cancel the listing agreement and pay nothing at any time. That's right, you heard me, nothing at any time. Selling your home doesn't have to be stressful, people. Check out www.o'neillrealestatetT.com. O'Neill is spelled O-N-E-I-L, or just call Keelan direct at 363-4030. That's 363-4030.
At Health and Wealth Lifestyle, we offer a wide range of services: blood analysis, iridology, acupuncture, foot detox, foot massages, gua sha, hot stone therapy, fire therapy, legs and feet massage therapy, mineral scrubs, acrotherapy, cupping.
We also have a wide variety of supplements: silver, zinc and magnesium, body light, and lots more.
We at Health and Wealth Lifestyle operate our business in a clean, safe, and comfortable environment. We frequently sanitize our compound and abide by all the COVID guidelines that are currently in place.
So come on down to Health and Wealth Lifestyle, where we treat you like family. Book your appointment today. Call us at 1-868-275-8359.
Or 1-868-288-1108.
And remember, your health is your wealth. And prevention is always better than medication.
Turn your lights down low and listen to the Master's Radio.
The Church of the Firstborn Assembly Miracle Center of number 399 Eastern Main Road, Waiko in San Luis Grande is pleased to present Pastors Morris and Agnes Johnson and guests on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. Sundays, Ministry of Worship, Children's Hour, and the Word from 1 to 6 p.m. Tuesdays, see Jesus in every book of the Bible from Genesis to Revelation from from 9 p.m. to 12 midnight. Wednesdays, we deal with current affairs from a biblical perspective from 9 p.m. to 12 midnight. Tell your neighbors, tell your friends, tell everyone. For further information, visit with us at www.churchofthefirstbornassembly.org. Facebook, email us at church668hope@gmail.com or call us at 753-1113 or 236-7271. Your free will gifts and offerings will be greatly appreciated. Account number 795222 at the First Citizens Bank.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iwer George on Instagram. Share the live. Iwer TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
Right, so I'm back with you, Trinidad and Tobago. Back with you. All right, so I would have played some voice notes, and I said to you I had one more clip to play. So let me play this last clip and tell you. I want you all to listen to this very carefully, right? Listen to this very, 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 very carefully. And when you all are through listening to this, I want you all to tell me what you think. This is why I'm very reserved and very careful with this whole situation. Let me tell you why I'm very reserved and careful about this situation. Listen to this clip, watch this video, and tell me what you think. All right?
Gary Griffith from the position of Commissioner of Police to replace him with somebody who is more amenable to the PNM policies. You have just said something there, and I could feel through the Facebook and the YouTube on Douglas Politics. I could feel the tension in the people and the citizens. Are you saying, Rudal Munilal, that it appears to be that the PNM under Keith Christopher Rowley, Ethelbert Hines, Stuart Smallpin Young are trying to remove Captain Gary Griffith from the position of Commissioner of Police to replace him with somebody who is more amenable to the PNM policies, positions, protocols, and nepotism?
I want an answer to that question. I want to remind you and remind your viewers and listeners and the thousands of them, and I want to hail them out. And then it is not only in Trinidad and Tobago, but I have been receiving messages from Canada, the United States, London, and other areas in the Caribbean that are now looking at your program. And we want to welcome them, of course, and thank them for their great support. But in the Joint Select Committee of National Security, I want to remind you, when Stuart Young came to that committee, a matter came up there. It was not a matter involving Rudal Munilal or Jerlin John or Khadija Amin, where there was actually an admission that the security forces, particularly the SSA, Strategic Services Agency that does spying, that they were spying on the Commissioner of Police, Gary Griffith. And Gary Griffith, I believe, in some public forum, has indicated that he was aware that the security services were spying on him. So Stuart Young was in charge of national security, went to the parliament on record and indicated that they were watching Gary Griffith. They were watching him, and the security agencies were spying on him. That is what came out in that report. Today, it continues that they are using the SSA. And listen, when I talk, my brother, you know I have some information. That report that we are dealing with on firearm, part of that report, I'm being told, is from the SSA as well. It is from the same people who were watching Jerlin John, Rudal Munilal, Khadija Amin, and writing all such a stupidness. While writing stupidness, it is the same people now talking about firearms because the government objective is to undermine the TTPS and undermine Commissioner Gary Griffith. And I make no apologies for saying that today I call upon the Prime Minister and I call upon Hines to tell us whether the SSA had any role to play by putting by putting Bacchanal and Movelang into a report of Rear Admiral Prashad and Superintendent Barrington. That is why we want that report in the Parliament Joint Select Committee urgently.
Rudal Munilal. Citizens, the one grain of salt, the one straw that they could hold on to in this devastatingly disgusting, disgraceful government called Rowley's PNM is that at least there is Gary Griffith there who has power to keep them safe. That if there are bandits moving around, you could call Gary. He gave his number out. He gave his cell number. He gives WhatsApp. He's always on the ball, trying to work hard. Yes, he has been starved of resources, and clearly we see now that it was a plan designed to thwart his results. But people and citizens out there of all races, all cultures, all religions feel a sense of security that at least Gary Griffith is there trying to keep us safe, trying to hit back at the criminals. And you are saying that it appears that Keith Rowley and his government are trying to get rid of Gary Griffith. I call upon you, Rudal Munilal, and myself as a UNC senator, we call upon Keith Rowley, Ethelbert Hines, Small Pinyong, tell us right now, tell the country, is there a move to replace Gary Griffith? If so, why?
These are the important questions that arose this week, and it will continue because Anil, I want to say I have great respect for members of the judiciary. I mean no disrespect to retired Justice Stanley John, I mean no disrespect, but Mr. Justice John, you are in a difficult position. You are being appointed by, we don't know who, if it is the Prime Minister or the Police Service Commission, to undertake a job where a report that may be before you, or a memo, or a letter, or a piece of correspondence, or something written on a napkin, could come before you, and that was illegally or unlawfully obtained. And you are in that position now where you may have to consider that. And I ask retired Justice Stanley John to please consider his position clearly before he goes forward with these matters now.
But Rudal Munilal, you are scaring the population. Because if one human being or a human being who is qualified...
Life is so hard, trust me, I know that. Trust me, I know that. And oftentimes...
All right, so I think I've heard enough. I really played it so that you all could understand that the opposition is rooting for the commissioner. The opposition is rooting for the commissioner. That is something that just...
What is...
That's just interesting. Very interesting.
Good afternoon, Pastor Google. There's plenty things bantering about with this GG and Mr. Hines and the PCS or PCA, sorry, and with the other person who wrote to. As far as I listened, and I even heard it on news and wherever, because the articles are there on Facebook. It's more than one article where Mr. Griffith said he did wrote to Mr. Hines. He did had a conversation with Mr. Hines, and he said the same thing that Mr. Hines said, what he told him, that to come out to work when he is due to come out, which is either after the 22nd. But then now he come and he get a letter from PCA telling him to stay on leave. The articles are there on Facebook. So there's some kind of miscommunication or something.
There's no miscommunication. There's the same thing. If they say to him, stay on leave. Stay on leave is the same way your leave ends on the 21st, I believe it is. Stay on leave. Stay on leave means stay on leave. If your leave is 2 weeks, then your leave is 2 weeks. It has nothing different there. I don't know if we miss something. If Mr. Hines said to him, stay on leave, until your leave ends. Stay on leave means stay on leave. It don't mean stay indefinitely. If the letter said stay indefinitely, I could understand. But all it said is to stay on leave. That is all it says. When is your leave ending? I don't understand. Maybe I missed something.
Either after the 22nd. But then now he come and he get a letter from PCA telling him to stay on leave. The articles are there on Facebook. So there are some kind of miscommunication, or somebody taking bits of pieces out of it. But the only thing I am saying to myself, we needed some clarification because, as you said, you wrote to Mr. Hines to go on leave. You was given leave, and then you wrote back to Mr. Hines acknowledging to him that you are back in the country and you are ready to go back out to work. And hence the reason why Mr. Hines tell you, let me clarify wherever. You write the other ones. They of themselves tell you not to come back to work. Then you have the private person who's doing the investigation saying to you that thanks for the information that you are giving, and they are not investigating you of yourself. So I'm wondering to myself, why the PCA suspending him if they are not doing any investigation? If they are not doing any investigation on him? If they are not doing any investigations on him?
All right, Mr. Bigo, nobody suspended him. He went on leave. Nobody suspended him, and they tell him to, as you said, and they give them a letter telling him to come out about the leave. I don't understand. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Pastor Google. Pastor Google, you ain't missing anything. You have it right. I've been listening to you since morning, and it was very difficult for me to have to listen to those two gentlemen there. And Pastor Google, I had to because I wanted to call him, so I had to know when they would end. The government have a right to look after the security of the country. I have nothing but spying. The government must know who they hire and why they must be fired, just like the UNC would hire and fire if they are not pleased with the people that they hire, right? And, I first heard about a story Saturday with my friend, and she was given rights to the Minister of National Security, stating that if based on what he has said, if that is true, he's in the right? If your leave is not up, you stay on leave, right? And I don't know the circumstances surrounding that, so I'm not getting into that. But I'm saying the government have a job to do. The opposition is in opposition, and they do not support anything. And if the government choose somebody to do the work for the country, it's not about the government or Dr. Rowley. It's about the people.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Pastor Google. Well, I believe that don't mind the loudmouth man from the sports because
don't focus on them. Let's say it.
Mr. Guy Gifford wanted to get back in office to cover down something that he didn't properly cover.
We don't know that. You can't say that, Manu.
Well, okay, I will draw that. But something resembling that. For Mr. Guy Gifford is to rude to everybody. You figure because he's commissioner of police that you want you're the boss over everybody. Look how you talk to the Prime Minister. Look how you talk to everybody who oppose you. I mean, some people like what was going on, not like they accept what was going on. But it is time for the leave because of your behavior now, Mr. Griffith.
All right.
Okay, the door.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Pastor Guru, if he wrote Mr. Hines first, and Mr. Hines wrote back to him, so why it is now he's saying that Mr. Hines have no right to talk to him and PCA and whatnot. If he does Mr. Hines first, you understand? So this is what going so people can't understand if he wrote Mr. Hines first.
All right, thank you. Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, Pastor Google. I have been listening to some of the callers, and I realize that some of them just calling to be socially acceptable on this matter. But I would like to say a few words on behalf of Mr. Griffith here. Now, if Mr. Hines is correct in his statement that he told Mr. Griffith to remain on leave until such time when his leave is officially ended, before he could return to his job. And if Mr. Hines is also correct when he said that his phone was on loudspeaker while speaking to Mr. Griffith, and the permanent secretary was present and overheard his conversation with Mr. Griffith. And if Mr. Hines intends to use the said permanent secretary as a witness to that fiasco, Mr. Griffith should question the credibility of such permanent secretary. And if no satisfactory answer is forthcoming from the permanent secretary, Mr. Griffith should then proceed to secure a transcript or a voice note of the conversation between himself and Mr. Hines from the telephone company involved, whether it's Digicel or whatever. We will then know who is speaking the truth. If Mr. Hines intends to cite the permanent secretary as a credible witness, that would be tantamount to himself judging himself, and Mr. Griffith will be treated with bias. Mr. Griffith is a transformational leader, and he should be given another chance to be commissioner of police. That's all I have to say, sir. Thank you for your time.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, Pastor Google. I don't understand how the UNC all of a sudden supporting Gary Griffith. Anyhow.
That makes you wonder, eh? It makes you wonder.
Yes, well, that's what I mean. I don't know all of a sudden I'm supporting him. I was never supporting him in the first place. Let me tell you, who it is Gary Griffith right when he wanted to go on leave?
He wrote to the Minister of National Security.
Right, and the Minister of National Security consulted with the PSU, right?
Yeah.
And based on that, he got the approval, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me just say it go down how Gary Griffith said it go down, right? Where is the problem? Because who is the man here, right, to get to go on vacation? So the point I'm making is this. Anyhow you take it, it's bacchanal Gary Griffith making, because if the minister is who you wrote when you want to go on vacation and he consult with the PSU and they give you approval, you come back earlier on time now and you call the minister or you write to the minister and you want to come back out. The minister say, let me check, let me revert. Revert meaning he going to check with other things. Let me check to see if you could really do that. When he contacted the PSU who was involved in sending on vacation, they say, Griffith don't rank them already, and they instruct Griffith, let the minister deal with that, right? Okay, the minister, after he have all that in consideration, say, here what's going on. The best thing, Papa, come back out when it's time for you to come back out, eh? I don't understand why is the big drama back in because the minister who was involved when he went on vacation in the first place. So you're coming back out, you consult with he consult with PSU, PSU say consult with the minister, and the minister here say, here what's going on, come out on the 20th. How is it back in around cultural and confusion that now people want to sequence the permanent secretary and PTSD and all this kind of thing? Let me tell you, when it's contracted position, especially, let me tell you, as a public officer, if you get a contract, anybody get a contract to work in a ministry, that involves the PS and the minister, because the minister has to go to cabinet to get approval to get the money to pay the contract. So the minister was saying that. You see, if it's an ordinary police officer, public officer, the ministers don't get in that because I issue public service commission, police service commission and all that. So anyhow you take it, once I say contract, the minister does be involved in it. So I still don't see where the back that I say it had to have some cover up in this, because what is the issue with if, quote unquote, if the minister tell him don't come back out? If that to go wrong that way. Because at the end of the day, the same minister you write for approval to go on vacation. And the minister check with the PSU and the PSU they approve it and go. You come back now, you ask the minister to come out. He said, they check with PSU. PSU say, I don't tell Gary Griffith already, anything check with you. And the minister say, here what's going on? Boy, come back out and the date is supposed to come out. And that's basically today layman language. What is it could true? Minister Mark asks the Minister of National Security in Parliament a question. The Minister has to respond in Parliament on that. He could not have, and you think he didn't consult first with the Prime Minister? Don't know that. Nobody does just go and talk just on the PNM side. I don't know if the UNC does do it, but those things are done in consultation. You think the Prime Minister don't know how the story go wrong, and Mr. Hines stand up and say how it go? He mentioned the fact with the PS simply because when the call was made, a PS was there. So what you want him to say? It could have been you, Google, stand up there. You're going to say the same thing. When I made that call, Mr. Google or whatever was in my office at the time, it was on speaker and he heard. How that compromising the situation? A PS don't have to go and do what the minister tell them to do because the minister didn't hire a permanent secretary. The permanent secretary come through the service commission and all that. The minister can't do them nothing. So I don't see where that conflict of interest and bias against Gary Griffith and all that. Gary Griffith make his own self biased by action.
Thank you. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. The commissioner bacchanal and...
All right, thank you. You ain't gonna get me in no bacchanal.
Pastor Google and now join here with this leave ending. Were you so right with the investigation you investigated there? You like Sherlock's home right now. Sherlock's home. Can't pronounce the name right. Sorry about that. You so right for what you saying there just now there. Those investigations you saying there, it have somebody lying there. And I feel it falling on Gary Griffith. That's why I'm watching here. Because see, Mr. Hines, he's a straightforward man. He not coming and lie on the radio and not coming and lie for people to look and make bad. So I really feel that Gary Griffith is not talking the truth.
All right.
This is the problem we have with Gary. Gary talks too much. Gary, so it seems to me you could do what you want. Nobody must respond to you, but it's all right for you to respond to people. Gary, that's not the way to move. That's not the way to move at all. And if we're going on the street, you ensure you make it back if that's the street you want to go down, you know. Whoever taking a position, come better than him, eh? But it questions about your behavior. You could say and do what you want, but nobody must question you. Understand? You did some questionable things. You want to send them officers just so when they came up and they spoke up against that. Gary. Citizens, anybody have more questions to answer than Anil and Munilal? All you fellas have real questions to answer. Yeah? And Gary was protecting all you have real questions to answer. Real questions to answer. And all you had got to come out and talk, citizens, to be fooled by these two individuals. They playing politics. You know, it's like, come on down. Both of them think it's jeopardy. People, citizens are beg all you. These two fellas playing games. They playing games with you, citizens. They don't care about you either. Even people talking about land, they don't care about you. People know the kind of land they take from people, so they don't want no land talk because you can find out who is who. Again, Anil and Munilal, all your real questions to answer.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Pastor Google.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, remember, I think it was about 2 weeks ago, I tell the former commissioner to enjoy his vacation. Now, when you go on vacation, you don't come out before the date marked on that vacation paper. You don't ask to come out before that date. If you was watching, you know. So it was improper for he to tell the Minister of National Security, who hired him, that he coming out before. They saw I watching at it. And according to Jenny, it's only kuchu they're trying to make with it. Because here we're going on, Mr. Gary Griffith. Right now, you ain't coming out that data now. We send you on an extended part of leave now if you was watching you.
Well, no, you can't say that. And that's where you're trying to put us in trouble because the child is, you know what I mean? And I don't want to go down that road. I've really tried my best not for, you see where you just said there? I really try my best not to have that conversation.
Well, I know.
You can't say that because the Minister of National Security did not say that, and the PSC did not say that.
Right. Well,
so please don't say that.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much.
All right, man. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, Pastor, good afternoon. So all of a sudden, all you want to destroy my credibility as a permanent secretary?
because I was privy, right? The minister chose to answer a private call in front of me. What kind of nonsense people trying to reach out here, boy? According to you, the only thing, piece of straw you have to hang on right now, and you can't change the tongue because everything done tape and in black and white, is if he's trying to make it look like the Police Service Commissioner and the Minister of National Security tell him to come back out indefinitely.
And they didn't tell him that. And they did not tell him that.
You understand? And in closing, you remember under Mr. Patrick Manning, and it was said that the Prime Minister gave up his power to veto the Commissioner of Police? I don't know if you remember that.
I can't remember that.
But I think that I don't think the Prime Minister has anything to do with that. And if I correct somebody, could correct me, who know better.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Pastor G, good morning. It seems that a lot of people in this just lacking common sense. Not one of these people, I am sure, have read the Constitution of Trinidad and Tobago. Nor do they understand what our Constitution says when it comes to the appointment of persons. There is no miscommunication. There is no doubt of what is taking place. The information is out there. People just want to have the political knows.
Mr. Bigo, mute your mic, please.
Think for themselves to understand the facts as it is stated or written.
Mr. Bigo, mute your mic, please.
People who are the center of this confusion and controversy is the Police Service Commission. They have dropped the political and legal ball at all.
Hello?
Mr. Bigo, at playing a voice note, mute your mic, please.
Mr. Griffith, contract is up. It ended in August. The PSC was to either give him a temporary contract while they continue their new selection process, which he could have been a part of, or they should have, before the contract ended, gone to Parliament to have his contract renewed.
All right, you understand where you're going. All right, Mr. Bigo. Mr. Bigo. Hello? Mr. Bigo. All right, you need to call me back.
Because I pass a Google, that's real crap, yes? I know. When I apply for vacation, you're hustling to come back before time. What I will do is look to get any time come for you to come, well, I could take a next week. I will try to get an extra week. Condition my mind to go back out to work, not to rush out before time. There's something really wrong with that man, yes? He needs his head checked.
We approach this time. Hello, good afternoon, Mr. Bigo.
Hello, Mr. Pastor Google. Are you hearing me now?
Yes, I hear you, but your TV is louder than you.
All right, I'm stepping outside from my bedroom. Right, Pastor Google. I listened to other frequency on Saturday. There were 2 clips that played. One of Mr. Hines saying what he said.
I played it here also. I played it about 5 times here just a while ago.
There was another clip that played of Mr. Gary Griffith.
I played that one also.
Right. Because this thing is very confusing. He did write to him. The 2 acknowledged what was said. But he also said that he wrote to PCA. Which PCA? Mr. Hines didn't tell Gary Griffith not to report to work, All he tell him is, if your leave ends at the 21st, wait until the duration of that day, and then you come out to work. That is as far as I understand it. But then when PS, or whatever the name is, the PCA of themselves, right, acknowledge Gary Griffith. They tell the man to stay on leave. And there is a letter which is on Facebook saying that he's on suspension.
Wait, just now. What does stay on leave mean, Mr. Bigo?
All right, Pastor Google.
No, I'm asking
My
you
boss
what
sent me
if you are on 2 weeks leave, right? And
right.
I tell you as your boss, stay on leave. What does that mean?
Which means you are telling me don't come to work on the date that are supposed to come out.
How that mean that, Mr. Bego? If I telling you,
Pastor Google,
Mr. Bego, hold on.
Yeah,
you are on 2 weeks leave, right?
Yes.
You are on 2 weeks leave. You want to come back out a week before. And I tell you, no, stay on leave. That's telling you.
Pastor Google, this is what I said. As far as it was made to understand, the man wasn't asking to come back to work before time, you know.
That is what the Minister of National Security said.
Well, this is why I say this thing is very conflicting.
No, it's not. It's not, Gary. But Gary Griffith. But Gary Griffith said it. Gary Griffith said it.
Pastor Google, as I said, it is conflicting because I'm asking my boss if to report out to work on the day that I'm supposed to come out back to work. And my boss man tell me, I'm here, I'll get back on to you, right? I'll get back on to you. I write PCA and say I'm back in Trinidad and Tobago. Can I report out to work? And them now telling me no, stay on leave. Which means the time that I'm supposed to come back out to work, they're telling me not to come back out.
No, you adding to it, Mr. Bigo. You are adding to it. They never said that.
Well,
you adding to
Pastor
it.
Google, I must be getting. I misunderstanding what really is being said, because as far as I acknowledge it as, he write to Mr. Hines. That is why I call in to confirm, Pastor Google, that he write to Mr. Hines. Mr. Hines tell him here, you're to stay on leave until the 21st because you have to come out back to work on the 22nd. No, this is what I saying that I thought it is what was being said. So I'm trying to get it clarified. I don't want to put my foot in my mouth. So that's why I'm asking the question, right? Because I've been reading and listening to this thing for the whole weekend, right? So I call my boss. My boss tell me here, you used to come back out to work. Your leave ends on the 21st. You know, you used to report on the 22nd. I'll get back to you on that. If another boss come and tell me, you used to remain on leave. Now, remember, Gary Griffith didn't really tell you that. It's PCA. Tell him to remain on leave on a suspension. No, the letter is all there on Facebook. I'm trying to send it to you.
Listen to me, Mr. Bigo. So, Mr. Bigo, you are saying to me that if your boss says to you, right, you ask for 2 weeks leave, right? And you asking your boss to come back out a week before the leave. And your boss says to you...
No. I'm not asking my boss to come back out to
that is what Gary Griffith did.
As I say, Pastor Google, I must be misunderstanding it because I listened to the two articles. Listen, I said, I didn't say read. I listened to what Gary Griffith said, that he and Mr. Hines had the conversation, and I listened to what Mr. Hines said, the conversation that he and Gary Griffith said, and to me is not that Gary Griffith asking to come out before time.
All right then.
Okay. As I said, I must be misunderstanding. But when he wrote to PCA tell him, don't come out to work when he's supposed to come back out. He's on suspension.
All right then. Okay.
That is it. So I am being puzzled. So thanks for the information. If it's that, well, Gary Griffith is wrong.
All right.
But if it's not that, we have to find out why he's on suspension, that he cannot come back out to work. Thank you, Pastor Google, for your information. Locked on and listening.
Okay. All right. Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, Pastor Google, good afternoon. You know, I listen to other frequencies, and they normally will run an ad. If you want to get or to test the mettle and character of a person,
Give them power.
I know you know it. Give them power, and you will see the real metal. Now, Mr. Bego is wrong on two fronts. PCA cannot give anybody any information, any instruction. What she meant was the PSC, the Police Service Commission. The PCA, I think he would have written the PCA, and they said they don't have that, it's not in their ambit to give that kind of instruction. So he wrote the PSC, and he also wrote Mr. Hines. Now, I mean, I was in the private sector, so I can tell you, when you go on leave, and even if you want to come out before your time, for whatever reason, they will tell you, well, no, Mrs. So-and-so, you stay until your leave expires. That's it, you know. And I think Mr. Hines said, so he told that to the acting commissioner of police, that he can stay on leave until the time expires, and then the conversation was ended. He came off the phone. Mr. Hines said it. So what is all this thing in the public domain? So whatever plot was set up, it didn't work. Right. To me, I saw it as a plot. You understand? By whoever was involved in it. You understand? And as I was saying, the UNC never supported Mr. Griffith, boy. It was so sad. A man who worked with you all the time never supported you. And they have the gall, the bold-facedness to come out now to talk foolishness.
All right.
They are really, I mean, it's hypocrisy to its highest, to its nth degree. Okay, bye.
Thank you. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. Pastor Google, we on?
Yeah, but I'm hearing you very echoey, sir.
No longer radio there, Pastor Google, I think we're missing two things, you know. One of the two things is that there was first an issue with the minister where he went on leave. That is one issue. And he had a talk with the minister. The minister say, hold on, I will have to double check. He went to the PSC. The PSC say, talk to the minister. When he called back the minister, by that time, apparently the minister had a talk with PSC. The minister say, hold on until the time of your leave have expired.
Yep.
That's one.
Yeah.
That's one issue. I think what we're missing is the second issue. The second issue is that, pursuant to what went on then, PSC then further wrote a letter asking him to not report until further notice, because the leave was supposed to be ended today, I think, to not report until further notice. Mr. Griffith's claim is to why can I report when I am still, I left out as an acting commissioner, and he's told to not report until further notice. Now, we have to speculate now that one of the reasons why he may have been asked not to report until further notice is because of the number of irregularities. As you put earlier, there are a number of people have been arrested in the different sections, the farm sections in particular. And he has written to them yesterday, I think it was, or Saturday, he had what he called a pre-action protocol letter to the PSC, to the chairperson of the PSC, asking that individual to explain why, to withdraw the particular suspension, what they call a suspension, from him returning to his duty, and to explain why. So this is the next issue that I think people tying up. So Mr. Hines explained on Friday in Parliament to Mr. Wademark what he answered Mr. Wademan and what transpired when he was told to wait until your leave is up. And then PSC wrote and gave Mr. Griffith a letter saying, well, yeah, what? Pursuant to what had happened, they gave him a letter asking him not to come out and to wait until further notice. So his pre-action protocol letter, where he took up Mr. Ramesh Lawrence Maharaj to question, to go to the High Court to get issue as to whether this thing they're doing is correct, is based on why he's not being able to go back out until further notice when he left. So the issue is, does he have a case he has reasonable expectation to have gone back out on the 20th or 21st. But does he really have a case that the PCA doesn't have the power to sit to write him as they did and tell him hold off until further notice? Because it's the same PCA that has the power to write him and give him his instruments or send it to the minister, who will then tell him what his instruments are. So I think we're mixing it up, Mr. Bego, everybody. This is what the story is. And you all could go verify it. It was on CNC3, where this story broke again and it came out on the newspaper. So let's get that straight. It's two different things. The first thing was the leave issue, which Mr. Hines answered Mr. Wade Mark on Friday in Parliament. And then the next thing is PSC writing him and further pursuant to what happened, saying this is the matter here now. Remember, this man does not have a substantive rank in the police service. So he doesn't have a rank to say that he could go back out as a deputy commissioner, ACP. And he's also, in view of what is happening, he's also in line probably to have another 3-year tenure to be commissioner. Now, I would think, and I'm talking just from a layman's perspective, that if you are in the run-in for the next commissioner, when you finish your term, you should not have been given a term to continue on. Because to me, there are correct police officers, men and women who have reached the highest rank, who are just as qualified, and who probably even understand policing more in that regard, that can sit in the office and do the job. But they choose to give him a 10 days, as it was, to act and then make a bubble. So yeah, I would say it is the PSC that has, in some way, have to correct the mistakes, if there is one, and therefore it will still have to go back to the minister, because the minister is in charge of the ministry. He doesn't get his contract with PSC, he gets his contract with the ministry. That is why he had to go back and ask the minister, because he has to report directly, and Jenny keep explaining it and people are not hearing it. As a contracted position, it's with the ministry, and in his case, he sits as part of the National Security Council, where the minister, together with the Prime Minister, who is the head of the National Security Council, can adjudicate on matters in respect to his performance. Unless somebody could tell me differently, I think that is where we are tying up the thing about whether he actually leave that thing done. That was finished. He knew that he had to come back on that day, but pursuant, Saturday evening, he got a letter saying, stay out until further notice. I would think it's ethical. I would think it's practical to have this gentleman, Pastor Google, let me just say this, to have this gentleman wait out pending the irregularities under his watch, to have him wait out and see, as I said, you played the clip. I wish you played it again. The one that you played this morning, when they paid off the people,
I'll play it over, because I have a lot of voice notes to play and callers calling in like madness here, and I kind of
that one over so people will get the understanding of why they could make such a decision.
All
Simply to allow the smooth transitioning of the incoming commissioner, whoever that will be.
Thank you.
Pastor Google, there is an update on that. The service, the PCA had asked Gary from since Sunday to stay on leave. They further extend the leave to clear up this issue, Pastor Google. That's the latest. And I think that is what Tobago trying to explain. You might have missed it, right? But the PCA has said, the Police Service Commission has said to Gary Griffith, no, you stay on leave because we're looking at an administrative situation. That is what's happening now, Pastor Google, that you might have missed that now. Remember Gary had given the Police Service Commission up to Sunday, right? That is why he hired Mr. Maharaj. But now a new thing has happened. Check.
It's not just a one-man thing. Like Mr. Hines said that, and it's between Mr. Hines and the PSC. It's not a one person making a decision and that's it. I mean, come on. It's teamwork. What is wrong with him? God, boy. The man just like to rub roses. God, boy.
Pastor Guru, my first concern, my first query is, why it is or how it is that Gary Griffith have been appointed to act as COP when Gary Griffith contract ended. Gary Griffith is now a civilian. He is not a member of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. Right? As far as I know, within the police service, acting appointments are either made by seniority or based on a merit list. So I would like to know in the first place, as far as I am concerned, the PSC, they are the one that dropped the ball and is more or less responsible for all this bacchanal. Pastor Google, as far as I am aware, as far as my knowledge go, Mr. Gary Griffith have been sent on administrative leave. Suspension was never mentioned. And that administrative letter is based on the fact that there is an ongoing investigation, and pure justice will expect that if an investigation is being carried out, you cannot be around to
Master Google, good afternoon. You see why Trinidad is such a confusing man. You listen to Mr. Tobago, she don't understand. Mr. Hines told Gary Griffith, you come back on the time you're supposed to come back. He wanted to come back 1 week before his time. The minister told him to come back when his vacation is finished. Just listen to Mr. Tobago. This is what a lot of people in Trinidad don't understand what they hear.
Good afternoon, Pastor Google. 9 people were held on the beach in Manzanella and were charged. Who it is responsible for that big gathering in Philly City recently? Who organized that? Like there's one law for one set of people and another law for another set of people. One law for kinky people and one law for straight hair people. Who is responsible? The country have to get on its right foot. It can't have one law for one set of people and a law. Look at that gathering in Philly City.
Good afternoon, Pastor Google. Pastor Google, I was watching Gary Griffith PI since all those candlelight vigils, since he gave approval to all those candlelight vigils. And you know the old saying, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. But now we're seeing who his friends are. Now we are seeing who is representing him.
Pastor Google, when you get a contract, whether it's at 2 months, at 3 months, at 6 months, 2 years, 3 years, when that contract is up, you are out of a job until the people who are in charge decides to pull you back in. You wait. If you want, you can try again. You can probably write a letter or however. Let them look at your performance. Let them deliberate on whether they should bring you back in or not. You do not gangster yourself to get back into power. That is what the Mr. Griffith is doing. Mr. Griffith is acting as a gangster.
Pastor Google, Tobago like she have some kind of thing breaking she ears.
No, I ain't going down that road. Right, I think this one.
Gary Griffith is a rogue elephant and should not be rehired.
All right. Hello, good afternoon. Last caller.
Wow, Pastor Google, who would I say like you? Do you want me to call at all, boy?
No, you have to do really quick. Time is going, and I have another caller holding on.
Yeah, what, man? One of the biggest things we're missing is the mistake that Mr. Griffith made. He said that the Minister of Security cannot instruct a police about leave. Gary Griffith is so very, very, very badly mistaken because he is not a police. And as one of your callers alluded correctly, a civilian cannot act as an acting commissioner of police. They can hire a civilian to become the commissioner. But when that contract is over, according to the laws, only a police can have the acting commissioner part. And as I said before, the minister did not direct a police about leave. If it really is true about directing, the man is now a civilian.
All right. Thank you. Hello, good afternoon.
Pastor, the simple issue is the guy who called 3 or 4 callers ago. He hit the nail on the head. We're mixing up 2 issues with 1 issue. The first issue has been cleared up. According to what I hear too, the Minister, National Security and the former commissioner, they cleared up that one. The real beef now, who he taken to court, who he hired Ramesh and Lala for, is the Police Service Commission concerning this latest administrative leave that they have sent him on. Thanks very much.
All right, so that's my last call for today. I'm out of here, Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you all very much for being a part of the discussion. Well, this is going to be a continuing discussion, and there's a reason why, and I hear you, both you and the other caller, concerning the situation. That's why I try my best to stay away from that one with the where it's going to court. All right, that's why I try my best to stay away from that situation where Gary Griffith is taking the PSC, all right, to court. I try to stay away from that one because, as you know, they would say that we pre-trial now. So that's why I was talking about that situation with the minister. So I'm sorry that you all didn't catch on, because I was really dealing with how the UNC is saying that it's political, all right, and how they're doing something and what and what, and they're trying to get rid of Gary and all the drama. All right, so I'm out of here, Trinidad and Tobago. Talk to you all tomorrow, please God, for just 1 hour, the shortest time in radio, 1 hour, and then we come back on Wednesday and continue our discussion. Coming up next is Miss Precious and Robert.
Lord, put a hand. These wicked people. Oftentimes, life hits so hard. Trust me, I know that. Trust me, I know that. And oftentimes, you can't seem to find any motivation. It's only frustration. But I can't afford to slow the pace. No, it's not time to lose the faith. One thing I know, mommy race a fighter, fighter. But mind the people want me fail. But each time I fall, I rise again. Till I get in that satisfaction, yeah. Them try. Them can't take my joy. Them can't take my joy from me. No way, that's why all the lie. Them lie. Them can't take my joy. Them can't take my joy from me. No way, that's why I'm still winning. Still smiling. Counting my blessings every day. I still winning. Still shining. Counting my blessings every day. Oftentimes, you feel like you have too much to bear. But hold on tight. Don't let your heart full up of fear. Cause sometimes, hard times will show you who you have on your side, yeah. Hooked up for the ride, yeah. I can't afford to slow the pace. Now is not time to lose the faith. One thing I know.
The views expressed are not necessarily the views of the management of the Street 919 FM.
Enagic changed your water, change your life. Enagic water purifier, one machine, 5 types of water. Enagic makes strong Kangen water with an 11.5 pH. Kangen water with 8.5 to 9.5 pH, healthy drinking and cooking water. Clean water with 7.0 pH. Beauty water for skin, hair, and plants with a 6.0 pH. Strong acid water with a 2.5 pH. This water is known to disinfect, kill viruses, viruses, and bacteria. Listen to the Street 919 FM with Pastor Alkaline John every Tuesday from 9:05 a.m. to 10 a.m. and every Wednesday from 8:05 p.m. to 9 p.m. as he talks to you weekly about how to improve your quality of life through purifying and drinking water. For more information, call or WhatsApp Pastor John at 516-286-7079.
Simpsons Memorial Limited, number 63 Eastern Main Road, Laventille. Internationally accredited funeral directors and embalmers. A full-service funeral home serving families of Trinidad and Tobago and internationally since 1945. At Simpsons Memorial.